What's up, gamers? It's me. You know it's me. It's me, Mochi. And, as you all might be able to see already, I look a bit different than I usually do. And that is because the lovely Miss Singe Amberwolf has graciously drawn me a model of her own design. I gave her a reference from my model, and she decided to put her own spin on it. And I don't know about you guys, but I really like it. So, big shout out to her. Thank you so much, Singe Amberwolf. You're awesome. We love you here.
Excuse me, Daddy? Sorry.
Oh.
Daddy? Sorry.
Oh,
Daddy?
is that Fuki?
Sorry. Daddy? Sorry. Daddy? Sorry. Daddy? Daddy? Sorry. I'm sorry.
Hello, Fuki, and yes, it's adorable. I love it. I love it to death. I'm probably gonna use this one for today, if that's okay with everyone. Gonna take a break from my usual model and use this one because I love this. Oh my goodness. But yes, Oh, you did see it. Yep. Big shout out to Amber. Love her here. Let me make sure that this fits with the... Gotta make sure I don't have to adjust it or anything. Right there. Yeah, I think right there is good. First, I thought it was a dream. I was staring at this strange sheet, not really understanding what it was. That was all. I didn't go after it, nor did I ridicule it. The fact was that the boring view was the ceiling of my own room, but I didn't realize that for a fairly long time. Yes. I thought I had been dreaming, but I had actually been staring at the ceiling. What? Huh? Oh, Lord. The whole time. Lethargy induced by the voices of the cicadas. Even after I realized I was awake, I couldn't draw forth the energy to sit up. Everything I could see, everything I could hear, everything was like a television broadcast that had already ended. It was hot. So hot I could choke on the heat. My back was moist with night sweats and it felt gross. Unable to endure it any longer, I tossed in my food.
I got some jelly beans.
Oh!
Like jelly beans? No.
I do... Well, I guess not. But I do like me some jelly beans. Thank you for the 420! Oh my god. Y'all are awesome. Wait, no, don't compete with each other.
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
No, me.
I realized what was going on too late. I'm stupid. Oh, no, we're not. No. Thank you. Don't compete, please. Please? Unable to endure it any longer, I tossed in my futon, and finally, blood started coursing through my brain. I lazily recalled the long day I had yesterday. The reality, as I lay here listening to the voices of the cicadas. No. I was just at the bank today. I could keep this. No. I love y'all. Thank you so much for the bits. We're We're not doing this. We're not doing who can praise Mochi the best. I love everybody. Mwah! The reality, as I lay here listening to the voices of the cicadas, and yesterday, so different from it. In order to kill Satoko's uncle, I had rehearsed, formulated a plan, and dug a hole. Damn it, I have rent and tuition to pay for, but Daddy... No, absolutely not. No, in all seriousness, no.
I am the chosen one. And there isn't a damn thing anyone can do about it.
No. You pay for yourselves before anyone else, chat. I'm gonna say that right now.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
Man, no one is more important than yourself. Always remember that. I will live. If like, you know, I'll live. Y'all just think about yourselves, okay? Especially if you've got other stuff to pay for, all right? Like I never want to. No, that is not how this works, Fuki. Absolutely not. I'm serious. Listen, care for yourselves before anyone else. Thank you. In order to kill Satoko's uncle, I had rehearsed, formulated a plan.
I know she's still calling me mommy. Because I am. I'm everyone's mommy.
Golden, you're not helping. It was very hot, and I was tired, wasn't I? And when evening came, I went to school and called him out on the phone. I panicked for a moment when he asked where the police station was, but it worked out. And then I awaited him and swooped down. I couldn't remember anymore what sort of emotions I'd let control my body. In any case, it didn't go smoothly, but I did it. It was very hard to dig a hole for the body. That feel of the rain pelting down on me. I don't think I'll ever forget it. Golden! I'm very serious. Fuki, listen. If you've got to pay for tuition and like college and all that, you do that. You do that before anything. Alright? I'm competitive first, the human second. I'm starting to blame Golden. Don't encourage that behavior, Golden, alright? Listen. Spot $500 worth of... You before streamer. You before streamer. Remember that. That feel of the rain pelting down on me. I don't think I'll ever forget it. The rain, the mud, and the sprays of blood. The sensation of floundering in a swamp. When I met Takano-san on the way home, that wasn't good, no matter how I interpreted it. It was the most misfortunate and uncalculated thing that had happened that night. Everything would have been perfect if only I hadn't encountered her. I was just riding my bike with my shovel in one hand through the downpour, utterly soaked. There was no way someone could surmise I was a murderer bearing a body just from that information. I mean, now that I was thinking calmly, napping under the morning sun, that's what I thought. Still, the more I think about Takano-san's eyes, it seemed like she understood. Takano-san. She
Don't touch me.
That I'd killed someone. Buried them. That I'd been on my way home. Exhausted. I don't want y'all to misunderstand though. I always appreciate the support. Never think I take that for
Why
granted.
you bully me?
like, any bit of support that I get from you guys is always, like, it always tickles me. But, like, I'm torn at the same time because, like, I don't know. I just want y'all to look out for yourselves first. Like, if you ever, like, gave me money that you needed to live, I would not be okay with that, to be honest with you. I'm just here to do funny stuff and be funny and make y'all happy. I don't want y'all to feel like you ever have to hate us. Hey, Singe! Or Amberwolf. Yeah, Amberwolf, yeah. Hello! Let me go ahead and give you a shout out real quick. Guys, for those that are just now arriving, the new PNG I'm using today is actually brought to you by Amberwolf herself. She was so gracious enough to make one for me, and I loved it so much, so I asked her if I could just use it for today, and I am. I'm going to add it as like a point redeem, but for today I'm just using this. Like, I'm not using any other model today. Cross my heart, all of this is within my budget. Okay, alright. That's good. As long as you're not, like, using actual money you need, that's... just, yeah. I trust y'all. I trust y'all. Okay. Takano-san wouldn't gain anything from selling me out to the police. But that didn't mean I couldn't feel at ease.
殺しとくんだった。
I had crossed such a bridge to get my tranquil life back. And I'd finally achieved it as a result.
I got some jelly beans.
God dang it, Golden.
I like jelly beans.
Here he goes. I'm alright. But not break my budget just for Golden stupid. Well, from my understanding, Golden has like...
I got some jelly beans. I like jelly beans.
Golden has like 3 jobs. I trust that he's using his money wisely. And that he could afford it. But if I ever find out that he's using money that he needs, then I'm gonna...
I like jelly beans.
I do like jelly beans. Thank you so much, Golden. Innocent wisdom. Now listen, Golden. I'd finally achieved it as a result.
I like jelly beans.
God almighty. But now, for the rest of my life, for all the tranquil days starting today, I'd have to live in fear of when they could suddenly end.
I got some jelly beans. I like jelly beans.
I may have twisted my ankle, told from total exhaustion. The fact that I couldn't make the snap judgment I needed to, I regretted it more and more as time went on.
I like jelly beans.
Yeah, like, Keiichi's definitely turning into an evil son of a bitch. Because he's thinking, I should have killed Takano. Even though all she did was, like, see him murder.
I like jelly beans.
Not see him murder, but, like, basically figured out that he murdered someone. Which is pretty evil shit, to be honest.
You're a golden dumbass!
Alright. Oh my god. But to be fair, Takano was also a murderer. But it's one of those evil on evil things. Not you. I know. I know. As soon as I realized Golden was in that sound, I was like, oh, okay, that's not aimed at me. But to be clear, y'all are free to call me a dumbass, especially when I do something dumb. Then I want to be called out. The fact that I couldn't make the snap judgment I needed to, I regretted it more and more as time went on. You didn't have a choice, Keiichi. You didn't have any choice at the time. You were tired. You were a mess. Even if you had made the decision, you might not have even been able to kill her. She might have just beaten you instead. In that sense, parting ways uneventfully could have been the safer option. No matter how sharp Takano-san's intuition was, she had no proof. I don't have room to call anyone dumb, same honestly. Same. Her suspecting me didn't amount to evidence by itself.
理屈じゃわかってるさ。でも、だからって何の心配もないってわけじゃないだろう。
If it makes you feel better, Keiichi, she is dead. Just worry about it when the time comes. Now isn't the time to be worrying. It's the time to be smiling, right? I like how Keiichi's like, alright, I've killed the uncle. Now Satoko will be full of sunshine and rainbows, and she'll be smiling all the time. God, Keiichi.
My heart! I loved her!
Thank you, Fuki. I love that sound. I love it so much.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Oh my god. You accomplished so much just to gain a new life starting today, didn't you? And you should be happy at this new morning. If remembering the past is too hard for you, then just consider everything up to yesterday as never having happened. You said so yourself. You'd bury it all like it never happened. Well, your wish came true. Everything before yesterday never happened. So, be happy, Keiichi.
Why?
Why? Gold... Man. I stuck at my hands lazily. Felt a little silly for me to be the one doing it. He heaved a sigh from... What the fuck was that? Oh, okay. That was a Star Wars thing, I'm assuming. I heaved a sigh from deep in my belly. That sigh got my lungs moving. It felt like I hadn't been breathing until just now. It wasn't enough to admonish myself over. All the dice that could be thrown already had been. And the numbers that turned up weren't bad at all. If I lost with those numbers, then I'd just have to give up, I guess. I grabbed the chest of my pajamas and flapped it back and forth.
I loved you!
Bros are having a whole war in chat. Someone be proud of me for that reference. I've never seen any Star Wars movies. I'm proud of you, Fuki. You get a good old mochi pat on the back for that. There you go. Cool air flowed over my sweating body. Okay. Nothing before yesterday happened. Nothing. Nothing at all. I'd forget it all. Yesterday was all a dream. What time was it? About midday? Getting myself up and going to school this late seemed kind of absurd. But I needed to go. Felt like going to school would be the first step into my peaceful new life. I didn't care how late it was, I would go. I'd go to school right now and get back to the life I had retaken as soon as I could. My lazy body immediately became lighter as the thought. I rolled up out of the futon, bounced onto my knees, then leaped upright.
10.0
Bro was really proud of himself for getting out of bed. I stuck out my chest with pride in my gymnast-like pose, then took a deep breath of fresh air. Brisk morning air had gone for a while, replaced by the crisp air of summer.
The One Piece! The One Piece is real!
The One Piece! The One Piece is real! Can we get much higher? God. Downstairs, I got a stern talking to by my mother. Where were you last night? When did you get back? You need to tell me when you won't be home for dinner. Things like that. But considering the importance of what I'd accomplished yesterday, a little scolding was no problem. In fact, it even felt like the sort of thing that would happen in such a peaceful life. I listened with an irresponsible smile and stepped out into the sun high overhead. It was around the time lunch break would be ending. Everyone... At this point, I'm not even trying to beat Golden, I'm just trying to distract Mochi. Oh my gosh. I do notice that y'all tend to like to do that a lot. Which is fine. With a lot of jelly beans, god dang it. Everyone would probably be worrying about me. I didn't go to the festival and now I wasn't at school.
I literally don't know this.
Kind of smell
What the?
like a baka.
Oh my god. Bro, what is chat cooking? What are y'all cooking?
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
Kinda smell like a baka. God almighty. Okay, Golden, you've made your point.
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
I do like jelly beans, thank you. Well, maybe they weren't too worried about it.
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
You're done. You're done.
You're done. You're done. You're done.
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
Oh, you said that in response to what you was cooking. What I was. Oh, God. I just realized that. I honestly thought, Fuki, you just said meth out of nowhere, like off rip.
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
God, I do like jelly beans. Since they would have gotten a small piece of news, but a happy one from Satoko today.
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
Bro, this is chaotic. Where's Gingy? Where's Gingy when it's chaotic, bro? Yes.
I got some jelly beans.
Small.
You like jelly beans?
How many did you? Yes, I like jelly beans. Yes, the small piece of news that her uncle hadn't come home last night.
I got some
So-
jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
Satoko would probably live her days in nervous tension for a while, thinking he still might come home.
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
But eventually, those days would end. And finally, Satoko, too, would realize her uncle was never coming back. And then, Rika-chan would quietly invite her.
You like jelly beans?
Dude. Dude. She would say, "You can live with me again." And everything would be back to normal.
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
Oh my god!
I got some jelly beans.
Wait, no, Fuki, I have the flight scream and the normal channel redeem. Hold on, where is it? I have that one. Where is flight scream? Is it
I
called
got
flight
some
to
jelly
stay?
beans. You like jelly beans?
No, that's the wrong one. This is one of him screaming. Which one is it? Where did it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, I have that. You don't have to spend bits on that. Our lives would go back to how they were before that man appeared. Satoko would start wearing that extraordinary smile, complete with those protruding canines, and fool everyone with those traps she was so proud of. At this point, I relent. Fuki. Golden is admitting defeat. Oh my god. Never thought I'd see that. God. I'd probably be her first target out of everyone, but I wouldn't be mad. In fact, I might actually shed tears of joy at the return of something so normal. Satoko. She'd gradually grow back into that meddlesome personality of hers. I mean, my lack of useful life skills was already completely exposed. I wondered if I'd ever be a match for Satoko. But that would be such a pleasant thing to see, too. And with such warm, fuzzy... Okay, no, I'm done. Okay. Y'all are... Man. I love y'all. I love all of you. And with such warm, fuzzy predictions, I didn't feel bad for going to school so late. In fact, I wanted to run there now to get there as soon as I could. Instead, I decided to savor the peacefulness of just going to school like normal. The world I'd obtained for myself. That gave me joy just by walking like this. Oh shit, I didn't take my meds this morning. No! Take your meds! Don't forget. That explains everything. Oh my god. Yes. The world beginning on this very day was something I had won. Without that monumental feat yesterday, I would never have been able to come to school so cheerfully today. The school gate came into sight. Just then, I heard the principal ringing the bell to mark the end of lunch break. It was a clear, refreshing sound. I stopped despite myself and let myself take it in. Tap. I'd stopped suddenly. So, there was an extra footstep.
Got diagnosed with cool guy syndrome yesterday.
Oh my god, who
so
did
now
that
I
to
take
me?
Adderall.
Adderall! God. With the noise, the blessedness I was feeling throughout my whole body drew into any pore I could find. I took it, don't worry. And as if to replace it, felt like hundreds of hairy caterpillars were climbing up my feet. I turned back, but of course, nobody was there. A single footstep could have easily been my imagination. But the footstep felt so ominous. That extra footstep I had heard after seeing Takano-san off last night. With everything that happened on that insane night, I didn't mind something like that happening once. Tell me good job for doing the bare minimum it feeds me. Oh god. It had been a hell of a night after all. In fact, having just one hallucination was pretty fortunate. But those footsteps should have ended with yesterday, so if I heard them again today, it was really only one thing it could have meant. Last night still wasn't over. It was still going. Still. An insane night. Forever. Yeah, Keiichi, turns out you don't just get to kill someone and then just forget about it. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Believe it or not. Step I heard. Just that one extra footstep. Just quietly ridiculing the nonsensical notion that the world starting today was completely different from the one that ended yesterday. My classmates playing in the schoolyard all vanished inside the like the tide going out. When I approached the school, what are y'all doing? Wait, what are y'all doing? It felt like that warm, fuzzy scene had ended, and it didn't feel good. At the entrance, I took a quick look in everyone's shoebox. Satoko Hojo, she was here. Mion was here too. And Reina, of course. Even Rika-chan was here. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were here. In fact, I didn't see any missing classmates. Oh my god. We were doing nothing, Mochi, it's fine. Alright. If there were shoes missing, they would have to be my own. I took my shoes off and stuck them in, then took out some slippers. There wasn't a single pair left in the shoe boxes anymore. With that, they returned to their rightful state. But as I stepped up onto the wooden floor, I noticed there was just one pair of slippers left. Huh? Who's...
Hojo Satoshi.
Satoshi, who had never been to school since disappearing last year. Until now, we had committed the exact same act of violence. I guess in the very end, it went differently. You couldn't make it to school, but here I am. I didn't repeat the same mistake you made. I wasn't about to let myself feel superior about that. In fact, I felt an odd sense of familiarity with him. A misfortunate bond with someone I'd never met due to following the same fate. I headed down the hallway towards the usual classroom. It felt like it had been a whole year since coming here. Hey, did you forget Keiichi? Satoshi Hojo didn't really disappear on the night of Watanagashi, did he? Satoshi Hojo disappeared a few days later. On Satoko's birthday, if I was right. I didn't know what day it was.
I can smell you.
Man. But I couldn't say for sure I'd avoided Satoshi's failure, unless I remained here past that day. I was still living in the night of insanity. The teacher still hadn't come to the classroom. The other door clattered open, the one the teacher wouldn't use, so everyone turned at once to see who had arrived. Everyone looked pretty vacant. Suppose I'll greet them.
おはよう諸君。出迎えご苦労であるぞよ。
Silence. When I started to think I'd fallen flat, someone finally started laughing for me.
おはよう、ケイちゃん。今朝も飛ばしてるね。飛ばしてるね。ケイチくん、まだお祭り気分が抜けてないのかもしれない。
Hearing Mion and Reina's cheerful voices made me realize how dumb those dark feelings I'd been having at the entrance really were.
おいおい、お祭り気分って、そもそも俺。
At the festival at all, remember? Before I could say that, Rika-chan smiled at me.
ケイチはちゃんと僕の演舞見ててくれましたですか?
You haven't, I can guarantee that I trust Reina. Wait, what?
ちゃんと見てたよ。
Huh?
あんなにいっぱい拍手してくれてたのに、リカちゃん気づかなかったのかな?
Huh?
ケイちゃんにシオンのやつがちょっかい出してきたのを無視してね。
Wait, what?
はははは。シオン、ざまあなかった。ああ、いい気分。
Mion starts laughing at the memory as she slaps me a few times on the back. That was ridiculously well timed.
それで、あの射的屋の対決って、結局どうなったんですか？
What are you... What? Tomita-kun was facing me and talking. There was nobody behind me. That meant he was talking to me?
あれは結局、富田家がビリだったのですよ。みんなで楽しく罰ゲームをしましたです。
Man, I'm killing it today. See what I mean? Yeah. I see what you do there.
リカちゃんも実質ビリみたいなもんだったじゃない。あそこで、起死回生の大技でガムをゲットとは、さすがは我が部の部員。見事だったよ。
Crying at a time like that is a feat only Furaday would be allowed to do, said Okamura-kun, breathing heavily from his nose. In my direction. Everyone laughed. If anyone but Rika-chan had done it, it would have been against the rules. Rika-chan gave one of her Nippa smiles as she listened to it. In my direction. Reina, too, turned to me. No, turned towards me. And then, with a somewhat embarrassed smile, she whispered to me so only I could hear.
でも、本当に、ありがとね。
The nephew is coming over. Let's go!
ケイチくん。
Hide the lamp.
何がだよ。
あのでっかいぬいぐるみ。
I'll keep away from lamps and fans. No, don't put out more lamps.
すっごく嬉しかった。
So this is what happened in the first chapter.
大事に枕元に置いてるんだよ。ちゃんと寝る前にお休みのキスしちゃった。
The class laughed at that, cheering and jeering. This whole time, conversation had been a little off.
ぬいぐるみが、どうしたって？
I wasn't quite getting it.
どうしたって、ほら、昨日のお祭りでみんなで頑張って落としたよ。でっかいぬいぐるみ。
Yeah, that's something that happened in the first chapter for sure.
でっかいぬいぐるみ。
Reina seemed taken aback, but when she answered, she did it with a smile.
なかなか倒せないから額を狙ったり、素早く何発も撃ったりして、いろいろと試したんだよね。
Yeah, this is... Okay.
それでケイチくん、鉄砲を何丁もあらかじめ用意して、素早く撃ってみせてくれたんだよね。かっこよかった。は
う。Wait. Who was this?
あの後の飲み会でさ、町内会の会長連中にも、ケイちゃんの評判すごく良かったんだよ。ケイちゃんの売り工場に惚れたって騒いでたのは、子供会の君吉徳蔵会長だったかな。次の祭りでは、ぜひケイちゃんに何店舗か任せたいって言ってた。 徳蔵はお祭りの実行委員会の模擬店部長さんなのです。
My Bada-san is great at making things sound good, isn't he? Yep, whenever he talks about something, it seems a lot better than it actually is. You could say that.
圭一くんって売り子さんの才能があるんだね。きっとバナナの叩き売りとかやったら上手だと思うよ。
さっきから何の話だよ。だいたい俺
I didn't go to the festival in the first place. I swallowed those words. I didn't know exactly why. But in Hinamizawa, this is what had happened. Yesterday, during the Watanagashi festival, Keiichi Maibara had appeared, and he had romped about with all the usual members of his club. He made a big scene at a few of the stalls, snatched a few sticks of the takoyaki and okonomiyaki in his goi, rating each of them as delicious or terrible to get everyone excited. They'd seen a gigantic stuffed animal at the target practice game, and everyone went after it. And then I got a whole bunch of the court guns, firing them in rapid succession, throwing each one away after using it. And admirably, I shot down the biggest stuffed animal there. And then I gave the stuffed animal, the proof of my victory, to Reina as a gift. Then our fun came to a close as we had to go see Rika-chan's offertory dance. There's a ton of people squeezed in there, and we all got separated, but we each managed to get into good positions to cheer Rika-chan on from. Then, in the middle, when Shion came up and asked me to go hang out with her instead of watching the dedication dance, okay, that's what happened in Chapter 2. I refused, and stayed put, watching the dance until the very end. Okay, so in Chapter 2 he did go with her. But I guess not. This. Just got home. I was watching Lurking the whole time, the whole ride home, since I didn't get to sleep last night. I'm gonna nap, but I'll leave the stream open. Also glad to see you're enjoying the... I am loving it. Thank you so much, Amber Wolf. Again, let me go ahead and shout you out again. And you get some good sleep. You definitely earned it at this point. I'm sorry to hear about everything that's happened, but hopefully it gets better. But thank you so much, Amber. We love you. We all love Amber. But who? Who was that? Well, everyone's been saying it, haven't they? Keiichi Maibara. I had an urge to yell in anger at my classmates for having so much fun talking about the festival yesterday with Keiichi Maibara. What the hell are you guys even talking about? Far stronger than that feeling, though, was the sheer uncanny nature of this reality I couldn't understand. Keiichi Maibara, who wasn't me, was in Hinamizawa yesterday. As I threw away my humanity, turned into a demon, and was busy beating Satoko's uncle to death. I was having a great time at the festival last night. What the hell? I had to suffer through so much. Desperately holding back tears. Getting so worn out in that downpour. Digging holes, chasing, beating, killing. Dragging and burying. Let's see what's in the meme channel. That is a very unique sandwich. The nephew's here, baby, woo! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Who was the Keiichi Maibara who had ignored me so and spent such a fun, carefree time at the festival? Damn it! Keep away from lamps. Who the hell stood in for me as I put my life on the line, working so hard to achieve this treasure-like everyday life? If there was another Keiichi Maibara besides me, then what was I? On the White Night of Watanagashi, where one died and one disappeared, in accordance with the Oyashiro-sama's curse, there was only a demon who had killed someone. Dumbfounded, as I succumbed to a horrifying possibility, I looked around at my classmates. To make sure there was nobody extra I didn't recognize among them. To make sure I wasn't among them. It was a horrifying thought. That the real Keiichi Maibara hadn't overslept and had come to school on time. And that I, who was no longer Keiichi, had just waltzed in here. But no matter how much I checked, the only people here were ones I knew. The man I met every time I looked in a bathroom mirror was not here. Boys in the Pictures channel? Oh my god, he's strangling him! Oh wait, no, you're just holding his chin. I thought you were strangling your nephew for a photo. Oh god. That would have been funny though.
Hi. 午後の授業を始めますよ。皆さん、席に戻ってください。委員長、号令。
Oh look, it's wife. The teacher entered and everyone hurried back to their seats. Jesus, I'm not that horrible of an aunt. Just grab him by his neck. Oh my god. Upon finding me, who was so stupidly late, she gave me a stern talking to, but I wasn't listening to it. Wasn't our old life supposed to start today? Something wasn't right. It was just strange. I was supposed to go back to my old fun life after yesterday. I'd set foot in an incomparably mysterious world. It was completely different from both my old life and my recent one. Yes. This was, without a doubt, a different world than the one I'd been living in until now. So they're actually addressing the different realities then, okay. There was no way such an absurd thing could be possible. But, unless it was true, I couldn't explain anything that just happened. In this classroom, I was surrounded by so many faces I knew, and yet I felt isolated. The cicadas sounded no different than they had before now, but they seemed somehow false. The air was parched and dry, too, making me think, was the air in Hinamizawa always this uncomfortable?
Oi, Lena.
何かな？授業中なんだよ。
昨日の祭りだけどさ。
Baby Golden.
俺、いつ頃みんなと合流したっけ？
To be honest, I was pretty excited afterwards, and I gobbled down some cans of beer. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't quite remember some things. Random babbling, it wasn't a bad excuse.
ケイチ君、 最初は来れないって言ってたんだよね。みーちゃんの家にそう電話したんでしょ？
That matched. He called me on and told her to take Satoko in my place, since I wouldn't be able to meet up with them due to things I had to do.
さとこちゃんを誘ってあげようっていうのは、みんなでお祭りの準備をしてた時に決めたんだよ。
I like Carnotaurus. Those are I think I've always liked how badass those things looked. Now wait a second.
少しでもおじさんの姿の見えないところに連れ出してあげようと思って。
What's up, game? I mean, daddies! My man Ark! My man! Let's go ahead and do this shout out. Alright, well, Golden's got it for me. Guys, if you haven't already, please go follow Ark. Ark is an amazing VTuber. He's very funny and very chill, and I love to talk to him. So please go drop him a follow. Thank you. Okay, I'll shut up forever. No, Golden! You don't have to shut up forever. Just now. I'm kidding. That's a joke. It was the same too. Neon said that when I called her. That everyone had already decided to invite her. Moch went full bear. How could this happen? Actually, also your description. Oh. This was drawn by Amber Wolf. It's very cute and I love it. Like, I don't know. Like, it makes my heart all warm and fuzzy. So I'm using this one today. That everyone had already decided to invite her.
それでみんなで、レナとミーちゃんとリカちゃんで、さとこちゃんの家に行って、さとこちゃんを連れ出して。
Yeah, it's super cute. Yes. Yes. I love it to death.
さとこちゃんのおじさん、すっごく意地悪そうな人だった。
That part didn't matter. What I was trying to ask was...
俺は、いつ合流したんだ？
Damn. Damn. Damn, Fuki.
そんなことも忘れちゃってるの？ケイチくん、だから祭りの前の日はよく寝た方がいいよって言ったのに。
だから、俺はいつ合流したんだよ。
My sudden threatening demand, Rhino was at a loss for words. Oops, I shouldn't have rushed that. I told her I was sorry.
境内でね。
Got him!
Good lord.
ひょっこりと。リカちゃんと話してたじゃない。巫女さん姿のリカちゃんと楽しそうに話してた。それでレナも加わって、お持ち帰りって。
On that note, I need to go and actually watch the Gremlin. Bye. Alright. I hope y'all have a fun time, Fuki. Thank you so much for stopping by. Watch the lamps too. And the fans.
リカちゃんと話してたのか？
ケイちゃん、用事か何かがあったんじゃないって私が聞いたらさ。ケイちゃん、胸を叩きながら自分で言ったじゃないのよ。用事なんかより祭りで大暴れする方が大切だぜって。
didn't say that at all. I never said anything like that. I never even went to the shrine grounds yesterday to begin with. I never had the time to stop by a place like that. I went to dig the hole as soon as I woke up. I had a pretty hard time doing it. After that, I snuck into the school and made a call. I called him out and lay in wait. And then it started raining really hard. With that kind of downpour, the festival should have come to a halt. In other words, it ended then. From the time the festival started to when it ended. It would have been impossible for me to have swung by the shrine grounds. I was already there when Mion and the others dragged Toko out and brought her to the shrine. And I was talking to Rika-chan. Then, where would Rika-chan say we met? The teacher went out to wash her hands, so I ran over to Rika-chan's desk and asked her directly.
圭一とですか？
ああ。リカちゃんはミオンたちが来る前から俺と話してたんだろ？いつ俺に会ったんだ？いつどこでだよ？
圭一が何を聞きたいのかわからないのです。
俺昨日寝不足で半分頭がぼーっとなっててさ、何も覚えてないんだよ。
Looked like Rika-chan bought into my babbling.
圭一と会ったのは集会所から村長さんたちと出てきた時なのです。圭一は西宮殿の扉の前にいましたのですよ。
Not Ark adding himself. Wait, did you like twist your foot or your ankle? Sorry to hear that, Ark. Hope you enjoy these jelly beans mochi with no competition. Oh my god, no, Golden. Yeah, Golden, god dang it.
何？西宮殿？
No, I literally ran too hard. Some road gravel bruised my foot. Oh my god! Ugh. Sorry to hear, buddy. If that gets better. Or maybe I have. Wait, did I even read that? I've never heard a building called that before. Or maybe I have, but at the very least I wouldn't know where on the shrine grounds it was. It's okay. I just think we'll hopefully make it good by Saturday. That's good.
What the dog doing?
村長さんが、そこは神聖な場所だから、みだりに近寄ってはならにゅうと怒りましたですよ。圭一、それも忘れてしまいましたですか？
I was too scared to ask any more. The more I asked, the more it became clear without any doubt. That Keiichi Maibara was present at the Faraday Shrine Grounds during the Watsunagashi Festival. The clearer that became, the more doubts, no fears I had. What on earth was I yesterday? Whatever that was, he had a good time at my place. I managed to go the entire day without letting them notice I wasn't there. Oh, right. When did that person leave everyone? This morning, my mother got mad at me for having stayed out so late last night. Which meant, at the very least, that Keiichi Maibara hadn't come home when my mother was still awake. The festival would have been closed because of the downpour. If I recall right, when I went back to the house's storage room to get another shovel. I think the clock said 7. Since it was already raining hard by then, the festival would have had to close down before 7. If I'd returned that early, I would have definitely run into my parents. Or, at the very least, they wouldn't have asked me when I got back last night. So the Keiichi Maibara from yesterday, that meant he never went home. It meant the downpour happened, the festival was broken up, and everyone left. But he didn't go back to the house. Using my full name like that super makes me feel like I did him bad. Oh my gosh. Arcanum_VT. Oh lord. That means when I arrived at the natural conclusion, a wicked chill suddenly froze my spine and climbed up to my brain. That meant Keiichi Maibara was the same as Satoshi. One day he never went home. On the night of Watanagashi, he never went home. Downpour interrupted the festival. On the way home, he suddenly disappeared. And I, who was dealing with the corpse, went home without a problem. I was so tired I wasn't even hungry, so I went up to my room without a sound and crawled into my futon. Who was I? That much was obvious. Keiichi Maibara. Keiichi Maibara was me. There may have been another one, but that doesn't negate the fact that I was Keiichi Maibara. And then, that other Keiichi Maibara was what? The voices of the cicadas steadily filling the classroom were beginning to bother me. Suddenly, I laid eyes on Satoko. Oh my god, can't read. Satoko's expression was dark as always. She seemed completely exhausted. Had a life of agony she couldn't even imagine an ending to. What had last night been like for Satoko? Did she have fun with everyone and feel a little happier, if even for a moment? And when she went home, the end of her dream, she'd probably gone to sleep, afraid of when her uncle would return. And then, this morning, her uncle hadn't come home. And then she went to school. Right now, she must have been still trapped by the rotten idea from which she couldn't be saved. That her uncle would need her when she got back. But you can rest easy, Satoko. Your uncle won't ever be coming back. I couldn't tell her it was because I'd killed him. When Satoko realized on her own that her uncle would never return, then that would truly be the end of the long, insane night. Yes. Because the person was just taken out of the equation, that means everything's solved. Because that's definitely how mental health works. For sure. Not even like, killed. Like, straight up, like, erased. That's right. I didn't do anything wrong. I did the best possible thing I could have as Satoko's Nini. Not an atom in my body regretted it. And look, calm down and think, Keiichi. From a certain point of view, isn't it convenient there was another Keiichi Maibara? I buried the corpse perfectly. A beginning wouldn't happen. But if worst came to worse, and it got out, and the investigation got to me, I now had a strong alibi, able to profess the fact that I'd been at the Watanagashi Festival. But accepting something so creepy and using it as an alibi, still, if I proved I hadn't gone to the festival yesterday, it would do no good and a lot of harm. That was what left the really, actually bad aftertaste. Forget about it, Keiji. Everything that happened before today. So just forget about the Keiji Maibara who was there yesterday, too. Instead, let's watch gently over Satoko for the day her smile returns. And that day, that would mark the end of that insane, all too long night.
So それでは今日はこれで終わりです。皆さん、寄り道をしないでちゃんとお家へ帰るんですよ。委員長、号令。起立。気をつけ。礼。
Goodbye. I thought about many things and saw my thoughts dispersed by many other things. I didn't know whether or not that time had been spent worrying or daydreaming, but either way, it came to an end along with the class. Cheerfully, our classmates got their things and ran for the hallway. Mion, Reina, and Rika-chan were packing up as well. What about Satoko? This whole day, she seemed deflated. Well, her uncle may not have returned last night, but she wouldn't have known he'd never return. How much I wanted to express that fact to her. Satoko packed up her pencil box and math workbook messily, and after a dark glance at the clock, heaved a sigh. Then went to leave the classroom. Then, suddenly, somebody placed a hand on her shoulder and stopped her.
何ですの？私、ちゃんと水やり当番もやりましたし、プリントだってちゃんと。
Her words, possessed by a persecution complex, hurt. I spoke loudly so everyone could hear.
なあみんな。さ、今日は久しぶりにやらないか？部活。
Satoko always had to tend to her uncle, so club has always been on hiatus. In our minds, our club was proof of a calm, peaceful life. By enjoying being together, I wanted to make Satoko realize her days of darkness were over.
レナは、いいよ。
そりゃ、まあ。私は構わないけど。さとこがいいならね。
Under a condition. That was important. With everything up to her, Satoko gave a worried look.
なあ、さとこ。久々にどうだよ。パーッとさ。
その、お気持ちは嬉しいでございますけど。
My uncle might already be home. That thus spoke her darkened eyes, her mouth unmoving.
さとこもさ、連日息が詰まるような生活をずーっと続けててさ、もう窒息寸前だろ？そんなのは心にも体にも悪いだけだぜ。やっぱりたまにはパーッと弾けなきゃな。
放っておいてくださいまし。
Uh-oh.
私だって そりゃ部活がまたやれたらと思っていますわよ。
With one word, but she looked down.
みんなで遊んだ方が楽しいのはサトコだってよく知ってるだろ。俺たちは仲間だぜ。みんなで一緒に過ごすようにできてるんだよ。サトコだって昨日みんなでお祭りで騒いで楽しかったろ。
Reina nearly said something, but she was too late.
ケイチさん、何を言ってますの？
My arm on her shoulders seemed to weigh her down, and she threw it off.
私がお祭りで楽しく、いつ遊んだって言うんですの？楽しく遊んだのは、ケイチさんだけじゃありませんの。
Oh.
え？
Looked over to Mion for help. But now everyone was looking down. My instincts told me that Satoko hadn't gone to the festival. But Reina said it herself. That she went with Mion to Satoko's house to invite her.
さとこちゃん、途中で帰っちゃったの。神社には行かなかった。
どうして？
I realized the absurdity of what I'd just said with Satoko in front of me.
おじが家で待ってるのに、一人だけ遊んでると悪いって言って。神社の直前で。
私たちも引き止めたんだよ。今日はおじさん公認だから、ちゃんと遊んでも怒られないんだよって。
At some point, tears had begun welling up in Satoko's eyes. Satoko was so afraid of her uncle that she couldn't even allow herself time with her friends and went home. No, she was even afraid, letting herself have a good time with her friends.
ケイチさんはいいですわね。
Uh-oh.
みんなで楽しくお祭り一夜を過ごせて。聞けば、大層盛り上がって大活躍だったそうじゃないですの。
Uh-oh.
お羨ましいことですわ。
Smiling to herself, her tears began to fall.
私には、養わなければならない叔父がいますの。ケイチさんみたいに、ご両親にのんびり養ってもらってる人とは、わけが違いますですのよ。
サトコ。
楽しくお祭りが過ごせてよかったですわね。私の分まで、楽しく過ごせて本当におよろしかったですこと。私だって、部活がしたいですわ。みんなで楽しく大騒ぎして、楽しくて。でも、今の私、そんなの。
Unable to withstand such violent emotion, a few teardrops slid down her cheek. But even though she was having such a terrible time, not once did she ever say that it was hard for her. It was a sad, obstinate bravery. Ark, I don't know if you have grasped it yet, but Golden's trying to get on your nerves by saying your name every time while slowly taking away a letter every time. I don't know if you had gotten that joke yet, but yeah. But the days when Satoko had to feel like that were over. Satoko didn't need to endure it, to bear it anymore. She could forget about it all now and smile. I'm so frustrated at not being able to tell her that directly. Instead, I said something. It's okay, I'm preparing for the army to fight him. That I'm not sure I should have said before I thought twice about it.
帰ってこないんだろ。あいつは。
The words were deeply meaningful to me, but I didn't know Satoko understood them.
帰ってこないって、誰がですの？
ゆうべは帰らなかったんだろ。お前のお家は。
何を言ってますの、ケイイチさんは。
Satoko shouted with all her might.
あいつがいついなくなったって言うんですの？いつ？
落ち着けよ。だって、昨日あいつは帰ってこなかったろ。
ケイイチさんが何を言ってるのか全然わかりませんでしたよ。
サトコこそ何を言ってんだよ。だってあの男は。
I killed him. Killed him yesterday. Killed him for sure. I buried him. Buried him whole. He could have never returned to his house.
昨日だって私にいっぱい意地悪して怒鳴ってわめいて当たり散らして作ったご飯を投げられた。お味噌汁もひっくり返された。暑かった。汚かった。そしてお掃除も私がした。私が
What? Our stories weren't matching up.
あいつ、いる？
今朝だって朝ごはんの時起こせって言われたから起こしたのに怒られた。起こさなかったらまた怒るように起こしても怒られた。
Satoko. Rika-chan went over to Satoko and said a few words of consolation. But Satoko angrily refused those words and thrust Rika-chan away.
いいに。いいに。早く帰ってきてよ。
Crying, Satoko slowly walked out into the hallway. Damn, Satoko, have you ever just considered not being sad? After a moment, Rika-chan went after her. So, it's obvious to me that Keiichi has somehow been shoved into another reality. I couldn't stop thinking about the words Satoko had spoken while crying. Genius, why didn't I think of that, Satoko? I buried her uncle last night. But she said this morning that was impossible. I buried him last night, so she couldn't have seen her uncle this morning. What was Satoko? At that point, I heard Mion's cold voice.
ねえ、ケイちゃん。サトコのおじさんが帰ってこないって。何？
No. Gulp. Gulp. A game theory. Thanks for what? God dang it. God dang it, Ark. Said too much. Let my emotions get the better of me.
レナも聞いたよ。さとこちゃんのおじさんが帰ってこないって言った。
どうして？なんで帰ってこないの？
おかしいよね。だって、今朝もちゃんとさとこちゃんのおじさんはいるんだよ。
Nice joke, TV.
なのに、なんで帰ってこないなんて言うのかな？
ケイちゃん、言ってることがさっきから変。
Suddenly, Mion and Reina started to speak in strange and creepy voices. What were they doing? What were they saying?
ケイちゃんは、さとこのおじさんがいると、何か都合が悪いことでもあるわけ？
Uh-oh.
お前らこそ、何を言ってるんだ？さとこのおじなんかいない方がいいに、決まってるだろうが！
I returned. I looked at the time and realized I have to meet up with some friends who I haven't seen in years. The meetup is in about an hour. Guess I have to stay up until tonight. Oh. Well, don't push yourself too much, but I hope you do have fun with your friends when that hour comes.
それはもちろんいない方がいいよね。よね
What the fuck is happening? I agree. It is fantastic art. Something wasn't right. Next thing I knew, Mion and Reina were smiling thinly. Their eyes were dark and muddy, in a way that I'd never seen before. And as our eyes met, that mud even seemed to fill the air.
さとこのおじは確かに嫌なやつだよね。あたしもいなくなった方がいいやつだと思うよ。でもさ、いるわけだし。仕方ないじゃない？
Nothing we can do. Something's wrong. Something's clearly wrong here. What the hell was happening? After a moment, a chilly liquid feeling as though my blood had been mixed with sherbet crawled up my spine.
仕方ないって、そりゃ、仕方ないけど。でも、それじゃ、サトコが。
仕方がなければ、どうするのかな。
Reina was trying to prompt me to say more. There really was no choice, so I killed him. I killed him to protect Satoko.
それは。
Trust Reina.
放っておきなよ。そのうち解決しちゃうと思うしさ。
You just love that clip, don't you, Golden?
さとこちゃんが、おじさんがいるって言ってるんだからいる。ちゃんと昨日もいたし、今朝もいる。 そうならそうでいいんじゃないかな。かな。
Mion and Reina were speaking unbelievably dismissively. How could they be talking like that? Mion and Reina, they were my friends. They were seriously worried about Satoko's abuse, weren't they? They would never blurt out something like this. And I definitely killed Satoko's uncle. No matter what Satoko or anyone else says, I wouldn't acknowledge it, because him being alive was impossible. There's no way he was alive. It was impossible. And yet, since Satoko herself said he was here, and he was alive... Sorry, I'm texting my mom. Can make anyone one as well. It's 100% free. I do it to see the joy it brings me to draw models, and others receive them. Just hit me up on Discord. See Satoko's uncle, so maybe he isn't real. maybe he's an illusion. That is kind, Golden. I definitely agree. I've told her in DMs as much, but Amber is a kind and pure soul. One that you do not meet often. She is a national treasure. I feel like Protect Amber Squad, for real. I feel like Ark would appreciate it. Well, unless you've already made one for Ark, but I can tell you right now, as Ark's friend, he would love one. National Nine. And yet, Tucker herself said he was there. And he was alive. I didn't know why or how, but suddenly Mion and Reina were at my sides, standing there silently. But I'm bad at asking for things like that. But listen, you know? Not to speak for you or anything, Ark.
帰ろうよ、ケイちゃん。
Uh-oh.
帰ったらね、今日は久しぶりにレナ、宝探しに行くつもりなんだ。
Me? Let me check. Oh, you're talking to Ark. Sorry, not me.
みーちゃんも来るんだよ。
ケイちゃんも一緒に行こう。もちろん拒否権はないからね。
Uh-oh. Words could freeze blood. Geez, Mochi, it's only your stream. Why would we be talking to you? Now listen. I never claimed to be smart. There was no doubt. They would have frozen me solid. I could hear it. A strange sound, like a layer of thin ice spreading, emanating from every joint in my body. And with them closely at my sides, we left the school, as if they were police officers taking me away. I They talked about silly things the entire way home, like they always did. But they always stood at my sides, as if to prevent me from escaping. This was strange. Everything about this day was strange. Actually, it had been strange ever since the previous night. Yes, thinking back, it had been strange ever since killing Satoko's uncle. That creepy meeting with Takano-san was only the beginning. An insane night still continuing. Yes, it still hadn't ended.
何？
Does Keiichi just think that, like, when you kill someone, it's just, there you go, hid the body, no one will ever find it, alright, deed's done. No. Even if no one ever finds out, and no, you're never convicted, and nothing ever comes of it, that's never going to leave your head. That guilt will follow you for the rest of your life. Like, it's not a small matter. Man, I need to teach Keiichi how to hide bodies for real, for real.
どうしたのケイちゃん。急に立ち止まったりして。
あ、ごめん。なんでもないよ。
When I stopped, it was distant, but I definitely heard them. An extra set of footsteps. That was proof. Proof that insane night hadn't ended. Mion left where she usually did, and finally we came to my house.
じゃあね、ケイチくん。お家で待っててね。レナ、すぐに迎えに行くから。
What was it? She was inviting me along on one of her oversized garbage treasure hunts at the dam site, right? But why now? Mion coming along was strange too. Mion may have accepted Reina's little hobby, but she hated fishing through garbage, so she'd never come with her before. And the location, specifically being the dam site, was a little creepy. The dam construction site was completely outside the flow of everyday life. It was so remote that no one ever went there unless they thought to in particular. Nobody lived there, and there were no lights. So, at night, it got very dark very quickly. I was being forcibly invited there. There was no reason I had to fear Reina and Mion. Besides, wouldn't the trouble I'd make by refusing them be a pain to deal with? Whatever you say, Golden. That way, it didn't seem like going treasure hunting with them was a bad idea. But that insane night was continuing. Haven't the sirens of instinct been wailing in my mind for a while now? Warning me that Reina and Mion were strange. That I needed to be cautious. The warning sirens were so freaking loud, it felt like my head would split in two.
あ、レナ。俺、実はちょっと用事があるんだ。
Uh-oh.
用事？何の？
なんのって、用事だよ、用事。
用事なら、なんでみーちゃんがいるうちに言ってくれなかったの？
Uh-oh.
みーちゃんとはダム現場で待ち合わせって言って別れちゃった後なのに。
Reina was smiling, but her words made her discomfort clear.
ごめん。ちょっと、言い出すタイミングを逃しちゃって。
本当に？
You're lying, aren't you? Jeez, Reina has to pee! He has to pee! I've gotta go take a leak! Jesus! You just made that up now, you liar. That's what Reina's eyes said to me.
俺、頭が痛いんだ。
Let the man release the piss. Some plants right over there. Go over there.
風邪かもしれない。だから、病院に行って、薬をもらってきたいんだよ。
本当に？
Uh-oh. That wasn't really a lie. My head did hurt a little bit, so I wasn't lying. Right over where you hid the body, possibly. Reina, you can figure out if my head hurt or not by just looking at it.
なら仕方ないね。
After staring me in the eyes for a few moments, she fired a sharp, needle-like stare at me. The tension of my body loosened. I felt like my knees might buckle.
診療所に行くなら、早く行った方がいいと思うよ。
Those eyes are normal.
あそこ、たまに早く閉まるから。
ありがとう。そうするよ。
必ず行くんだよ。病院。
Uh-oh.
行くよ。
本当に行くんだよ。
行く。
Seemed like Reina had realized that I was going to refuse her invitation for a while now. With how serious she looks, she might actually call the clinic later to make sure I went. Couldn't say anything careless. Lying about getting checked out was just an excuse to decline her request in the first place. It didn't matter whether I actually went.
あ、ちゃんと行くよ。なんなら明日、病院のレシートを持って行ってもいい。
それいいね。
Why is she so obsessed with... Oh my god! Also, healthcare ain't free in Japan? For real? I'm sorry.
必ずもらっておいてね。レナ、明日見るから。
Jesus. Another tingle started crawling up my back. There was no ignoring it. Reina and Mion must have been monitoring my movements. I wasn't normal. Far from it. All of it was insane. I think this game is also an anime. It looks familiar as hell. Yes, it is an anime. It was originally a visual novel, and it later got adapted into an anime. What was the anime? God damn it. But yes, I've never seen the anime, and reading this visual novel was my first experience with it. And so far, it has been interesting, to say the least. Did what I did because I wanted my peaceful life back. Hey, Fuki! But what on earth was all this? It was far from peaceful. Something had gone mad, leaving the world out of order. With the other Keiichi Maibara, those creepy footsteps I've been hearing. With Reina and Mion acting so curious. And above all, with him being alive. Where was I? Hinamizawa Village, Shishibon. I knew that much. Is this really the Hinamizawa I knew?
おい、前原圭一。ここは、どこなんだ?
So my theory right now is that Keiichi... Keiichi in the reality of Chapter 3 has already been demoned away. Probably during the night of the Watanagashi. Thank you for the hydrate. Oh, and posture check. Thank you. Yeah. Good water. And a stretch. Thank you. And the... Well, thank you. So, okay. My theory is that Keiichi's already been demoned away from the reality of where it killed the uncle. And I guess demoning away just means that they get spirited to another reality. I asked, whipping around before the front door, to face the one who has been following in my wake all day. Nobody would have been there, of course. Which is gonna be so healthy after all of that, he's gonna be able to beat any enemy in one punch. One punch! Keiichi Maibara, huh? That's what I just called him. Called the one who'd been trailing behind me this whole time. That shadowy presence always clinging to me. Like it was constantly watching for the opportunity to change places. Footsteps always following me was another impossibility. It couldn't have been a ghost, so it was just impossible. So maybe... So maybe, like, there really is, like, different realities. We know that there's different realities at this point. But, like, when they say, like, okay, that's not Reina, or, okay, that's not Keiichi, why is he, like, a murderer? It's because there's realities to where they are just evil. Like, some of them, like, eventually break and turn evil, or what have you. And they somehow get, like, I don't know what a skinwalker is, but they somehow, like, something, like, transports them to different realities and stuff like that. Time travel? Oh, I see. That's my current standing theory. Which would, of course, mean that there'd have to be, like, Oyashiro-sama's work. That's what I'm thinking so far. Skinwalker in Native American mythos is a witch that is able to transform into the other beings, be it animal or another human. Yeah, that's what I'm starting to think. Couldn't have been a ghost, so it was just impossible. So the strangeness must have been my ears, my head, or Hinamizawa. You could run into a coyote and have it transform into a bear in front of you. Oh, wow. Satoko is a brilliant scientist who has been able to travel realities by using a toaster. Everything I could see was the same exact Hinamizawa I knew so well, and that gave me the creeps. Eventually, I decided to actually go to the clinic. I really didn't want to go outside. But a stronger feeling than that desire was fear that Reina might actually be keeping an eye on me to see if I went to the hospital. But before I went to the clinic, there was something I wanted to make sure of. It was at school. Oh, well, I pretended I'd forgotten something, and was going back to the classroom to pick it up. As soon as the thought crossed my mind, I was overwhelmed by paranoia. I was just going to the classroom, but I hated it so much, having to be so careful to fake it. After carefully verifying once more that nobody was watching, I went over to the locker. Yes, Satoshi's locker. Oh, he's gonna check if the bat's still there. I committed the crime with the bat I found in this locker. Satoshi's bat. And then, I had thrown the bat into the swamp. Which meant, the bat shouldn't have been inside. But, what if... bat was still in here. It's a very dreadful, incomprehensible idea. But if it was true, it would explain a lot. If the bat was in here, yesterday's events would have all been a delusion. No, an illusion. I hadn't killed anyone, and I'd gone to the festival. I had a great time rampaging about with everyone. It would prove that Keiichi Maibaro was really me. Proof that I was the only under some strange assumption that I had killed Satoko's uncle. Proof that it had all been a wild fantasy. That would explain everything. Nothing happened yesterday. I had just gone mad, unable to separate my shocking uncle-killing dream from reality. That would explain everything. I hope a bat just suddenly flies into his face. Oh my god. If the bat was here, would I be able to accept that reality? If it was here, nothing will have changed. If it was here, it would just mean I'd gone crazy. Preparing myself for the worst, I opened the locker door. I was actually scared of opening it slowly, so I threw it open with a bang. Just like the first time, the choking scent of smell and sweat, like a stale towel, came flowing out. There was a baseball uniform, and some miscellaneous other things like notebooks. There was also a shoe pouch. And as for the bat, it wasn't here. It was how I left it when I took the bat out. There was no doubt. Yesterday really happened. Now that I knew I wasn't a lunatic, I felt relieved. But at the same time, if I wasn't the crazy one, then Hinamizawa was, and that was evidence of a reality I found just as difficult to accept. There was noise somehow creeping into everything I saw, and the world was losing a tiny bit of color. So, what did I know about last night now? Now that I'd made sure the bat wasn't there, I didn't need to be here anymore. Will I go? For real? To the hospital? It was my first time going to the hospital, but from what I'd heard, it wasn't far from school. My mom had told me where it was, a big, easy-to-see road, and went straight there. I went past the shopping street and made a turn. It wasn't overly hard to spot the sign with Erie Clinic written on it. There was one other person, an older man, there in the air-conditioned waiting room. I went up to the counter and told them it was my first time here. Was he so sure he didn't just dream of murder? Lol. I know, right? The man behind the counter glanced at the clock and said there would be a short wait. It was almost 5. Clinic hours would be ending soon. As I sat in this unfamiliar waiting room, isolated from everyone, and let myself feel the cool air, I actually felt relieved. Should I tell the doctor when he comes? I could tell him I had a cold, but it was the very picture of health. Actually, I warned him to check my head. I wanted someone to confirm for me whether I was actually sane or not.
前原圭一さん。
Oh, it's this guy.
診察室へお入りください。
Jesus. Huh? The voice from the other side of the examination curtain. I thought I'd heard it somewhere before.
こんにちは。
What's up?
ここでお会いするのは初めてですね。
監督 監督って、お医者さんだったんですか?
Hi, doctor. One sanity check, please. Well, you mention it. He did seem to know his way around when he was looking at my shoulder in the nurse's office. It makes sense if he was actually a doctor. And to think of it, our teacher called him Miri-sensei, didn't she?
一応、お医者さんなんかやっています。お医者さんはいいですよ。若いすべすべなお肌を見放題の触り。
God, lock this man in a cage and throw away the key, please. Ugh, he's so sus.
怪しいお注射で自由を奪って私だけの専属メイドに。
How is this guy allowed to walk the streets? Just how?
ありがとうございました。今のを見てただけで風邪が治りました。
Jesus Christ. It's not just sus, he's the entire list of suspects, I know, right?
失礼します。ペコリ。
Polite bow. Someone say sus.
わったったった。前原さん。冗談です。さささ、座って診察させてください。聴診器を当てますから、前原さんのすべすべのお胸を見せてください。
For some reason, I felt really relieved. After that insane night, as much as I thought everything had gone crazy, Coach was here doing the same thing he always did. I was very happy about that.
風邪ではないようですね。むしろ全身の擦り傷や切り傷の方が痛々しいくらいです。ひょっとして半袖半ズボンで藪の中に入って遊びましたか？切り傷から破傷風菌が入った可能性もないとは言えませんし。
Wait, tetanus? I thought you get that from like nails or whatever. Golden equals mega sus. As I was chasing that man last night, I kept being scraped by bits of trees. I didn't realize I had so many cuts.
昨日のお祭りではしゃぎすぎましたね。若いというのはいいことです。
Once again, I apparently went to the festival.
監督も行ったんですよね。お祭り。
ええ。もちろんですよ。私こう見えても綿流しの実行委員会の役員ですからね。
俺に会いましたか？
This coach was the same coach that I'd always known, and I felt like I could trust him more than my weird friends, so I asked.
実は私、本部テントでずっと会長さんたちとお酒を飲んでたんで、全然お祭りは見て回ってないんですよ。前原さんには会ってないと思います。
そうですか。
変わった質問をしましたね。ひょっとして今日寝不足ですか？いけませんよ。成長期はよく食べよく寝て育つんですから。
He's not wrong. Coach let out a laugh. He didn't laugh in an unnatural way like Mion and Reina did. Coach was okay. They're just quirky. He was the coach from the world I knew. He wasn't someone from this abnormal world.
こんな話、きっと変だと思うんですけど、笑わないで聞いてほしいんです。
ええ、どうぞ。思春期のシャイな悩み、大いに歓迎ですよ。
Lock this man up.
俺と、うり二つな人間がいる、なんて、ありえますか？
Keiichi. What? Coach hadn't expected that question at all and couldn't say anything for a moment. But then he smiled calmly and quietly answered.
迷信ですが、世界には自分と全く同じ顔をした人があと2人いるなんて話を聞いたことがありますね。いるならぜひお会いしてみたいものですが。あと、おとぎ話にも自分の分身が登場する話がいろいろありますよ。
Same, Fuki. Same.
ドイツのおとぎ話に出てくるドッペルのお化けなどは有名です。
ドッペルのお化け？
ええ。自分の姿に瓜二つなんだそうです。
I wasn't paying much attention, but I saw what he said about puberty.
不幸の前触れなんだそうで、これに遭ってしまうと近いうちに死んでしまうみたいな話らしいですよ。
When you meet them, you're sure to die soon. The story ended directly in death, plain and simple. It made my spine tingle. The coach wasn't saying it to scare me, though. He was just offering a casual anecdote. But that made it feel all the more real.
そのお化けがひなみ沢に出るなんて話はありますか？
ええ
Omega lol. I know I just ripped out the hiker's throat out, but that's just the way I am, so quirky.
さて、どうでしょう。
Coach must have thought he was being teased, so he laughed in an exaggerated way. But when I didn't smile along with him, his laughter steadily grew fainter.
すみません。ちょっと真面目な話のつもりだったんで。
いえ、こっちこそ笑ってすみませんでした。何か気になることでもおありですか？
I wondered if I should tell him. Then, after resolving myself one final time, I slowly spoke.
俺、昨日はお祭りに行っていないんです。
そうでしたか。お祭りは来年もあります。その時また。
そうじゃなくて、俺は祭りに行っていないのに、みんなが言うには、俺は祭りにいたらしいんですよ。こんなことってあるんですか
？By the way, you guys can't hear me like chomping on a cookie, can you? I hope not. What's your star sign? I'm an asparagus, so I'm like kooky. You're eating cookies? Yes. What kind? Cookie ASMR. Wait, you can hear it? Can you? Could you or could you not hear? I'm sorry if you could. I'll stop. After blinking his eyes in amazement, Coach thought seriously about what I was trying to say. And oh, okay, nice. No, sugar cookies. Pretty good. And he answered, choosing his words carefully. No, not the frosted sugar ones. The I don't know what you call them. It's the one with sprinkles on them. What does it say? It just says sugar cookies. I don't know how else to describe it.
Oh, I have some very delicious cookies. Only 99 cents plus tax.
I'm sure with the glass mochi. No, in my cookies.
つまり前原くんは綿流しのお祭りに行ったけど、その記憶がないということですか?
I was trying to say something completely different, but I suppose any sane person would come to that conclusion. Mochi, if you bring food to the class, you have to share. That's if I was a student. I'm the teacher, baby. At night, Keiichi Maibara was actually at the festival, but I was saying I didn't go. It obviously meant my memories of going there had failed me. But that was absolutely impossible. Wait, what? Oh. Amber says her Twitch is acting up and she can't connect. I'm sorry. Where did she say that in Discord? I don't know what Twitch is doing. It's just Twitch things basically. Because gamers never stop learning. That vivid act I had committed during the downpour couldn't possibly have been an illusion. Just Twitch things. All these scrapes on my body prove it, as is the fact that the bat wasn't in the locker.
いえ、違うんです、監督。俺は本当に祭りに行っていないんです。
気を悪くしないでくださいよ、前原さん。前原さんにはこれまでに気づいたら見知らぬ場所にいたとか、そういう記憶の欠落を経験されたことがありますか？
ないです。それに記憶を失ったとかそういうのじゃない。だってその祭りの時間には別の用事を確かにやっていましたから。寝てて意識がなかったとかそういうのじゃありません。
その用事は間違いなく？大変失礼ですが、何かの思い込みでなく？
間違いありません。完全にはっきりとした記憶、いや事実です。
お祭りの時間に神社にいなくて、よそで別の用事をしていた。それをはっきりした形で証明できますか
？No shit. They caught me lacking. That's right. Thinking it through brought me to this. There was only one way to prove that I wasn't really at the festival yesterday. And that was to show that there was no doubt that I killed their uncle. Coach saw me struggling to answer and his eyes looked a little cold. I guess they would. After all, from Coach's perspective, I was just a weirdo sputtering nonsense.
少し横になりましょうか。 心を落ち着けて楽にしましょ
う。別に横になりに来たわけじゃありません。遠慮します。
少し神経に高ぶりがあるようです。鎮静剤を注射して少し目をつむってみませんか？
Oh no! They're gonna take him to the funny farm! No!
それで
俺は異常者じゃない。
Realized Coach was treating me like a deviant, so I raised my voice.
気に障ったなら謝ります。ですからどうか落ち着いて。
They're coming to take me away. Ha ha ho ho he he.
俺は絶対に祭りには行っていない。それは本当に間違いないんです。
分かってます。分かってますから、どうか落ち着いて深呼吸を。
あんたは全然分かっていない。
Coach was stunned and stared in stupefaction.
分かっていますよ、前原さん。あなたは昨日はお祭りに来なかった。そうですよね。私は信じます。信じますよ。
Coach jotted down a brief note in his records. He was writing it in German, so that his patient wouldn't know what it said. Do doctors actually do that? Or was he just an Omega Chad that can know every language? But I could make a good guess as to what he wrote.
あの時間に何をしていたか、全部話さないと信じませんか？
いいえ、信じますから。どうか座ってください。
Before I sat, I tilted my head back a little. The blood in my face all drained out and I quieted down. After taking a deep breath, I made sure that I was calm now.
俺が祭りの会場にいることはありえない。なぜなら、その時間に、俺は。
Did I tell him or not? I really didn't want to go on living like this, feeling this horrible. And I said them. Final fatal words.
里子の王子を殺していたからです。
Damn. I could smell the concrete in the room. I could feel the air around us sharpen. No! God damn it. Nobody moved. Only the sound of the clock ticking told us time hadn't stopped. With his mouth wide open, Coach even forgot to blink for a while.
あなたが、里子ちゃんのおじさんを？
Damn, I just had some problems with Twitch too? I don't know. Yeah. It's fine now, Keiichi. Don't hesitate. Imagine if he heard that confession and just said, "It's very based of you, Keiichi!" Hell yeah, my man, Keiichi! Up here, brother. Admit it. With all your strength.
はい。俺が、昨日の夜、殺しました。
Oh my god, I love that quack. I kinda wanted to replace my goo songs with this. Oh, Ark! Oh, I see Ark. Always getting on to me for adding your bot. And now you're adding the blurp bot? I see. I spoke clearly and fluidly. I could easily tell that...
He's a murderer! But it's kind of cute.
But he's kinda cute. Could easily tell that coach's mind had gone completely blank.
どうしてそんなことを。いえ、それは愚問ですね。
里子を救う最も直接的な方法だと考えるに至り実行しました。後悔はわずかもありません。
そうですか。
Coach smiled thinly and nodded a bit.
だから俺は祭りの会場にいるわけがないんです。
I left the brightness in my house for the darkness of the outside. After that, I dug holes, made phone calls, I had my hands full. And then, I attacked him. Would you... Hey! Fookies, I'm sure you look fantastic. Everyone in this chat looks fantastic and beautiful. For real. It was pouring hard at the time. The festival started that evening, but was suspended due to the rain. There were no gaps in my memories. From the late afternoon until it started to rain. There was no time for me to possibly have gone to the festival.
So 体中の傷はその時に。
そうです。里子の家を少し行ったところに林道がありますよね。あそこで襲い、逃げるあいつを追い、町に至る一本道で殺すに至りました。
それは本当に。
Killing your uncle wasn't some wild fantasy? I could tell that coach didn't believe me. So, I spoke slowly, not letting myself grow excited.
本当です。サトシのバットで殴り殺しました。そのバットはあいつが乗ってきたバイクと一緒に沼に捨てました。死体は殺した場所に穴を掘り埋めました。すべて自分が一人でやりました。
里子ちゃんの叔父はバイクで通りかかったんですね。ではあなたはそれを期待して延々と待ち伏せを。
あいつが家から出ないことは想定していました。だから電話で適当な嘘を喋ってあいつが出かけるように仕向けました。
電話で呼び出した。でもあなたの家と里子ちゃんの家は離れています。電話をしてからではとても待ち伏せに間に合わないのでは。
襲撃予定場所から最も近い電話として学校の電話を使いました。
でも前原さん、当日は日曜日です。学校には施錠がされていて入れないのでは。
偶然その時営林署の人が中に出入りしたんです。
Golden, think of it this way. If you insult yourself on how you look, you're insulting the one you love most, their taste, what they believe to be as great. So, wouldn't it be kind of foolish to hate yourself for that? Because people are looking at it and loving it. And to hate what they love is kind of an insult, wouldn't it be? Think of it like that.
その隙に入りました。
After that, Coach grilled me on a few different things regarding the incident. He made sure to question me carefully, looking for any contradictions in my account.
信じましょう。あなたが昨日したことは夢とは思えない。
I explained everything, including minor details that only someone who had actually committed the act could explain. I could, of course. It was only yesterday. Coach realized that my story had no expedient coincidences or too convenient details that would have existed in a daydream or a delusion, and finally seemed to want to believe me.
これでもまだ、俺が記憶をなくして、祭り会場に行ったと思いますか？
Coach slowly shook his head.
でも、クラスのみんなが、昨日、確かに俺が祭りにいたと言います。そんなことがあり得るでしょうか？
あるわけがない。きっとクラスの皆さんは、あなたによく似た誰かと、あなたを見間違えたのでしょう。それに集団心理が働いて、皆さんはあなたがお祭りにいたと錯覚してしまっているに違いありません。
Couldn't have mistaken me. Mion and all the rest said they were spending time with Keiichi Maibara. It was much more than just having mistaken someone else for me. But saying that out loud would just confuse Coach. He spoke to me in whispered tones.
罪の意識はあるんですか？
It didn't sound like he was criticizing me. And even if he had, I would have had flatly said the same thing.
ありません。あいつのいなかった平穏な時間を取り戻すために行いました。だから、俺はあいつを殺したことなんかさっさと忘れて、これまで通りに生活するつもりです。
Yeah, everyone chat is beautiful. Beautiful.
あいつが現れる前、聡子がいつも見せてくれたあの笑顔が戻った時、ようやく全ては終わります。
犯行を誰かに目撃されたということは？
Yo, Mochi. Euro Truck Simulator 2 was on sale. Oh my god. I know what our collab stream's gonna... Oh my god.
ないと思います。目撃されてれば、もうとっくに逮捕されてるでしょうから。
私は医者です。人の命を救う職にあります。だから私から人間の命を奪うことを肯定する旨の発言はできません。だから私はあなたにこう言います。
Coach slowly rose and placed a hand on my shoulder.
聡子ちゃんを救ってくれてありがとう。
Coach's eyes started shedding warm tears. When I looked at him, I started to feel some tears of my own. I didn't know what I was crying for. And so, for a little while, two men in the room fought back their tears.
でも、おかしいんです。
おかしいとは？
確かに殺したはずなのに、あの男は生きて家に帰ったらしいんです。
His expression immediately sharpened.
状況にもよりますが、気絶や仮死状態など、素人が見ると死んだようにしか見えない状態もいくつかあります。その可能性は？
脈を取ったわけではありませんが、確実に仕留めたと思います。
前原さんが襲った時の状況を再現してもらってもいいですか？
Coach rolled up a health and fitness week poster nearby and offered it to me to represent the bat. Though I may have been lost to the emotions of a beast that night, I remembered in detail the number of times I swung the bat, the angles I had swung from, and the force I had applied. Using Coach as a stand-in for the uncle, I reproduced them over one by one. Wait, is he beating the shit out of the Coach? I did like this, and this, and this, and then I took his stupid bald head and I went... Yeah, that's how I did. Coach? Coach! Hey, you alright?
そして、あいつが足を取られて、よろめいたとき、脳天にこう叩きつけました。
Killing the doctor, Cage is a hero, honestly, because this guy is sus.
その時、これまでとは違った手応えがありました。頭蓋骨が割れたんだと思いました。
Coach was calmly analyzing this information, using the places I'd struck and the situation at hand to find out what state the uncle's body had been in.
そして、死んだかどうか自信が持てなかったので、倒れた後も何度か殴りつけました。
By the way, question, what do you remember the uncle did to Satoko? Like physical abuse? We've still not even seen the uncle. We've literally killed this man and we've not even like seen a sprite of him. Maybe it's an anime only thing, getting to see him. Maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, like we did kill him and all that good stuff. We know that. Oh my god, yeah, I guess it's an anime only thing. But he abused Satoko, constantly verbally abused her, would sometimes like throw food at her and hit her on the head. Nope, he's into... Well, I've not seen him. I've not seen a trace of him. You can look back at the VOD too, like he's just not there. We know that he's hit her and all that stuff. It's mainly just been verbal and physical abuse, nothing past that.
その時の反応は？
はじめは殴るたびに体が跳ねるような感じがありましたが、やがてそれもなくなり、何の反応もなくなりました。
Weird, but okay. This means there are things to come. Yeah, maybe. Coach folded his arms and said, a few times. And then he spoke.
死んでいます。ほぼ間違いなく。
それは仮死状態ではなく？
前原さんの話からだけではなかなか判断がつきませんが、ほぼ確実だと思います。それに前原さんは死体を泥の中に埋め、 結構な時間をかけて埋めていますよね。仮に30分で埋めたとして、その男は30分間も泥水に沈められていたことになります。それだけの時間、呼吸が止められたら確実に脳死します。
Higurashi had a live action TV drama. Oh gosh.
殴った強さ以前に埋める過程で確実に絶命したと。
そういうことです。30分間泥に埋められていて生きていられる人などありえません。
ありえないですよね。でも聡子は生きてると。
But if Uncle didn't exist, then who was Phone? Huh? Coach, a doctor, just gave a stamp of approval that he was dead for sure. That made it seem all the more unfair that he could still be among the living.
前原さん。これはとても恐ろしい想像なのですが、前原さんが殺した相手が叔父でなく別人である可能性。
Oh no! Oh no! Dude, don't. No. Dude, don't tell me. Oh my god. What I could find. I don't see him appearing physically on the VN. Oh my god. He's right. That could be why. Cleared up the inconsistency of my definitely having killed someone, but him still being alive.
そんなはずはない。だってほら、監督と一緒に聡子の家の前で酒瓶の袋を運んだ時、窓から顔を出した男がいたじゃないですか。あいつですよね。聡子の叔父は。
ええ。間違いありませんよ。あの男です。
実はもう一人叔父がいるなんてことは。
Well, well, well. How the turntables.
How the turntables. Whoopsie, and then they all laughed.
聞いたことがありません。
Imagine you're just like riding down some road on a motorcycle. This absolutely like crazy kid, looks like he's on bath salts, right? Comes at you, tackles you off your motorcycle, and just beats you to death with a metal baseball bat. You have no idea why he's doing it. He's just kind of beating the shit out of you for no particular reason. To you. God.
あの男だけです。
あいつの特徴を教えてもらえますか？
Oh no, man. It sounds like teenagers.
まず身長がですね、175、もう少しあるかもしれません。
Sounds like a normal Tuesday night for me. In order to eliminate the worst possibility that I'd killed someone else, Coach began to thoroughly compare what the man in his mind looked like what I had told him the person I killed looked like. But no matter how in-depth my description went, none of the characteristics differed. The uncle's traits, according to Coach, were all exactly the same as the person I'd killed. Forgive me, dang out. But those traits were all extremely vague, and they weren't particularly distinct at a glance.
もっとこう、絶対にあいつだと識別できる特徴はありませんか？
そういえば、私は見たことありませんが、さとこちゃんが昔、背中に虎だかなんだかの入れ墨がある、なんて言っていたような気がします。
入れ墨
That was really important. Not everyone had a tattoo. If I found a tiger tattoo on the back of the man's corpse, it'd be proof I'd killed the right one. At the moment, though, there's only one other thing that would verify this. To go to Satoko's house and see for myself that the uncle had returned home despite having died. But it was far more terrifying than digging up the body and looking at its back. Not even looking at the tattoo, I knew for sure the one I'd killed had been Satoko's uncle. I cracked his head open and killed him. And yet, he'd gone back home. There wasn't any misunderstanding or even the shadow of a doubt in my mind about having killed him. And yet, it was impossible for him to exist. Kind of like how Keiichi Maibara had been at the festival, despite it being impossible. That small commonality made me feel as though a faint but bizarre force was permeating this insane Hinamizawa.
一体、どういうことなのでしょう。前原さんはお祭りには行かず、さとこちゃんのおじさんを殺していたにもかかわらず、お祭りにはあなたがいて、そして殺したはずのおじさんも生きている。
何がなんだか、さっぱりわからないです。そうやって整理して言うと、まるで俺が悪い夢を見ていて、実は殺人なんて存在しなかったんじゃないかと思えてしまう。でも、事実なんです。この手で、バットで、ガツンガツンと殴ったあの感触は、絶対に夢や幻なんかじゃないんです。
Which let out a slow sigh, and after looking at the clock, got up.
ちょっとこの話、もう少し真剣にやりましょう。ちょっと失礼して、紅茶でも入れてきてあげます。診療所も終わりの時間ですからね。ジムの方とかも返してあげないと。
Coach stood up and went out into the hallway, leaving me alone. The clock was about to strike 6. I was at the festival when the uncle I'd killed was alive. Had I really committed murder yesterday? The only whisper of a fact that proved it happened was the absence of that bat from Satoshi's locker. In any case, I was glad that Coach had taken my nonsense seriously. Should I buy a soda for energy or should I relax tonight? Are you asking for, like, if you're planning to stream or something? I just confessed to murder. Normally that would frighten a person away. But Coach didn't run. He cried with me. I was glad he did. Energy for in general. Don't do that. If you're EST like I am, it's like almost 8. You definitely shouldn't be drinking soda at this time. The running got me put out. Put! Like so, my tension smoothly melted away. I suddenly realized I had to urinate. And then I realized, man, I really had to pee. I thought to use the restroom while Coach had stepped out. There was one across from the waiting room. As soon as I left the room, I saw Coach and 2 male doctors wearing white clothing standing in the shadows of the hallway nearby. I didn't particularly intend to eavesdrop or anything, but I was quite surprised upon noticing how uneasy they seemed. I hid behind the wall and quietly listened in. It seemed like Coach was giving directions to the 2 doctors.
紅茶ですね。用意します。
睡眠導入剤を入れて、
お
種類は任せます。味はミルクと砂糖でごまかしてください。
急激な眠気に不信感を抱く可能性もあります。
Well. Should you really be taking EpiPens just for energy? Isn't that for like if you have a serious allergic reaction?
興奮状態に陥って暴れ出す可能性も。
その場合は取り押さえましょう。
Of course, I'm always available for bad advice.
男性スタッフはまだ何人か残ってますか？
山犬が1人。それに私たちを含めて3人です。
What was all this? I think I was already agitated despite what Coach said. Is that it? Was it just a casual conversation and it was only sounding unbelievable to me? Coach said he would bring some black tea and left the room. And then, in the shadows, he was telling his subordinates to put some kind of sleeping powder in the tea? Plus, they were getting extra help. In case I thought the sudden sleepiness was suspicious and started getting violent? Hey, wait, Keiichi. Calm down, calm down. There's no way something as stupid could be happening. I mean, he was genuinely listening to my story. And he even cried with me. Dude, if you ever tell an official that you did something illegal, like hell, if you tell like a therapist that you are like having suicidal thoughts or something, they have to report that. That's not like, oh, but we were homies, they was like talking. No. They have to report that. That's not something that they just choose to do. It's literally required. Just saying. I thought he was the one person in Hinamizawa who would understand. This was... No, this was...
作り話か虚言の兆候があり、特に昨日の記憶が完全に混乱。虚実の区別の喪失。
Shouldn't done the illegal, Keiichi.
多重人格等の精神障害に酷似しています。でも、こんな急激な精神障害の発症は普通では考えられません。あるいは先天的、もしくは引っ越し前からそういう兆候があったのか。引っ越し前に精神科に通院例がないか調べたいところです。とにかく前原さんには穏便にお休みいただきます。
The two doctors nodded deeply.
前原さんのご両親にも連絡しておいた方が良いですね。何と言えばいいか言葉が思いつきませんが、彼の自宅の電話番号を調べてください。
My eyes still moist, began to shed tears once more. This was too cruel. I really thought he had actually understood and had believed what I told him. Now, from the other side of that wall, he was bluntly treating me like a crazy person. I mean... I believed you. I believed you! I let down my guard, because I thought you were the only ally I had left after that insane night. Is that a lie? All that about thanking me on Satoko's behalf? Were you just pretending in order to keep me placated? Tears fell to the floor. Frustration. I was an idiot. I was an idiot. I was such an idiot for believing that bastard. I heard footsteps approaching the doctors. A man in a dress shirt with no tie came running up.
入江先生、大変です。高野さんが見つかりました。
高野さんが一体どこに？
それが山中で焼死体で発見されたらしく。
死んだ？高野さんがですか？
The men, all surprised, exchanged glances. Dead? Takano-san? Hey, wait. So then, does that mean when I cursed or wishing for her death, that wish was granted?
焼死とは一体どういうことですか？それは事故ですか？
県警の発表では他殺の可能性が極めて高いと。
As I cried, I laughed quietly. Serves you right. Serves you right! If I hadn't run into that woman, my murder would have been perfect. She just had to come driving up to me and tried to coerce me like that. I regretted not having killed her on the spot, but now she was dead anyway. My curse, my wish for her demise, it was fulfilled. Fucking, I left for 3 minutes. Serves you right! Why is Keiichi a psycho again? To be honest, when is he never a psycho? When is he not a psycho? Serves you right!
リサさんが死に、高野さんが死に、一体ひなみ沢には何が起こっていると言うんですか？
Who's Risa?
まさか、これが今年のお社様のたたりだ、なんて言うんじゃないでしょうね。
Like hell, I'll let the curse be real, Coach said. Everyone present just nodded as Coach cursed at no one in particular. Yes, maybe it wasn't Oyashiro-sama. This was definitely a spell. A curse. I wished for her to die. So she did. This wasn't just a coincidence, and she died because I wished for it. And you'll die next, Coach! You betrayed me. You pretended to believe me. But deep down you thought I was a madman! Arisa, she's the best character and integral to the story. She blank and even does blank. All along, truly the best. God dang it. Dude, no spoilers! I have it in the tags. I say that jokingly, but please no spoilers. Look down on me with all that pity in your eyes.
では、とりあえず紅茶の準備を。紅茶は私が持って入ります。私以外には彼は心を許さないようですからね。
Shit. What do I do? What the fuck is it? God damn it. Nah, people who post spoilers or story-driven games are the worst. I know, right? Luckily, I've never had it happen, but... what do I do, Keiichi? This time I heard the voice of a nurse.
入江先生、
あ、いらっしゃいましたか。お電話です。
今ちょっと忙しいので、後でかけ直すと伝えてください。誰からです？
沖宮警察の大石様ですけど。
ちゃー、悪いタイミングですね。
I saw someone do it to Omori because someone had they them tags and they were the one. Are you serious? God damn. Insta-ban, but when you know the spoilers, it kinda ruins the entire experience. Wow. They did it just because of their tags? Wow. I just don't see how people can be like... I just don't know why people hate others for, like, something that just doesn't matter. Like, doesn't affect them at all. Oh, you're a singular person, you can't be they, them. If somebody wants to have different pronouns, just let them have them. It doesn't affect you at all, and it makes them more comfortable. Why do you care? Sorry.
出ます。
Coach left to go answer the phone. The other men headed towards the room with the teapot to make the black tea, like Coach had ordered them to. Fortunately, Coach having to take the phone call meant there would be extra time for me to act. Anyways, back to Keiichi being a psycho, yeah. I had to decide what to do now. Would I let him make me drink the sedative-infused tea, or be held down and thrown into a mental hospital? Nothing would come from starting a brawl here. They had more people anyway, and they were all bigger than me. If it came to a fight, I didn't stand a chance in hell. If I couldn't win against them, then there was only one thing left to do. Run! Run. Yeah, yep. Get out of there! Adrenaline suddenly rushed into my brain, and my body started to move with keen instinct, like it had on that night. Did he just unlock Ultra Instinct? I'm kidding. My surface temperature quickly cooled, and the transmission routes between my cells enlarged. Using 360-degree visual information, I searched for an escape route. I would open the window behind me. Outside was a parking lot. There were no cars. A little beyond there was the bicycle I had taken to get here. I determined that this would be the quickest method of escape. I approached the window swiftly, but with little sound, to raise as little suspicion as I could. With the speed and silence of a shadow, like it had on that night I chased her uncle, I unlocked the window and opened it. A cool evening breeze wafted in. I stuck my head out and looked over the parking lot again. Nobody in sight. No need to hesitate. I quietly crawled outside and closed the window behind me. I held my breath and listened carefully. Nobody seemed to have realized I'd run. I looked around. Then, I jumped onto my bicycle and zoomed away. The pedals clattered under the force. Had my bike always creaked like this? Did the pedals always whine every time I pushed down on them? My bike wasn't the only one crying, though. My tears fell as the wind cut through them. They rode the breeze and scattered behind me. I hate this. I hate this! I'm not the crazy one. Hida Mizawa is! How dare you treat me like a madman! Die! Die! Just fucking die already! I believed you. I believed you! I'd gone to the hospital in order to escape Reina and Mion's invitation. But the reality that was waiting for me had been too cruel. It was insane. Me? Or Hinamizawa? Or was the answer something else? Automod got me. I have an automod? I don't think I have automod enabled. I started having trouble breathing. I didn't have any clue what was happening anymore. The loud chirps of the Higurashi were irritating me. Were even the Hinamizawa Higurashi I knew so well calling into the wind? No, that wasn't quite it. They weren't calling. They were crying. There's a bot telling me my message is being checked. Oh, wow. The pained wailing, those lost in some kind of rhythm, in another world, no longer able to return to their own sunlight. I didn't do all that to end up in a world like that. Do I have to, do I have to do something about that, or does it just, say it's good? And actually, at about this time, I might have been having fun with everyone else. Satoko would have gotten her smile back after realizing her uncle would never come home. She might have shown it to us at our first club meeting in a while. That was the kind of world I wished for. There's nothing on the auto mode thing on the mod menu. Huh. So, what is this? Why did I end up in such a strange, ghastly world? Someone I'd killed was living like normal, and I had enjoyed myself at the festival despite not being there. I don't want it. I don't want this strange world. When did it start to go wrong? When? When? No matter how much I thought about it, I never understood. I rode swiftly and returned to my home. It had begun to rain during my journey back, and just like yesterday, I was now soaked. But I didn't care about something so trivial right now. The pain I felt in my heart that Coach, one person I trusted, was acting so cruelly was far worse. Maybe just try typing the same thing, Mark, but word something differently? I don't know. But I have no allies in Hinamizawa anymore? Type? Oh my god, no, don't make me hungry, Fuki. Oh my god. The naive thought that I at least wanted my parents to side with me. I stepped up to the front door. Wait. Keiichi. It'll be dark soon. Something you want to check, right? Yes. I wanted to dig up the man's corpse and get a look at his back. If there was a tiger tattoo there, I would know beyond a doubt he was Satoko's uncle. That long night wouldn't end until I was certain. This insane world was all reparation, all a divine punishment. I needed to make certain whether I had been successful enough to even deserve to pay that price. I went to the storage room again and got the shovel. It had been washed in the rain, but the paint was peeling, making it look unsightly. I never, ever wanted to touch this thing again. The sensation of it in my hands was totally different from the night before. There was a ruthless coldness to it. Yeah. It would be dark soon, so I'd need the lantern too. There would be a little bright light from the streetlights, but it would get extremely dark.
Oh.
I thought I'd put the lantern here, but I suddenly noticed it wasn't anywhere to be found. Then it hit me like a bolt of lightning. Of course, on that night, I hadn't brought the lantern back with me. I'd left it at the place I buried the body. If I didn't go to get it soon, it would get very dark. Then not only would I be unable to find the spot I'd buried the corpse, but I wouldn't even be able to find the lantern itself. If that happened, it was all over.
急ごう。
In order to fit the shovel in the basket in the front of my bike, I'd needed to twist and disassemble it. But it looked like there was dirt in the joints. No matter how hard I pushed, it didn't want to come apart. After strenuous effort, I realized I couldn't get it apart. So I decided to hold it in one hand and ride my bike with the other. Kate, you remember how well this went for you last time? With the downpour soaking me through, and a shovel in one hand, and riding one-handed. It was as if I'd returned to that night. No, return was the wrong word. It was more like that night had never ended. Keiichi, expert murderer, is your Higurashi OTP mochi? Well, it's obviously Takano and Tomitake, but it's seeming more and more like Takano killed Tomitake, so maybe not. Pain of the raindrops striking me, no different from then. The thing that was different was Hinamizawa. The world, and nothing else. The rain clouds were already making it dark, and now was about time for the sun to set. I could tell it would only get rapidly darker. A straight road leading to town. In the middle of it, that should be where I buried it. Yes. It was near that streetlight. And that night, too, the water from the downpour was splashing down from the streetlights overhanging like a waterfall. The pouring rain was exactly the same as it had been that night, and thus it brought my memories into focus. I left my bike in the brush and stepped into the forest, the ground already soaked with mud. Where had I buried him? Think. Darkness, shadows, water, the mud. Everything was the same. Think! And then, I spotted the lantern by a fallen moss-covered tree. That's right, I left it right here. If I left the lantern here, then I would have buried him over here. With the sensation of standing in the sludge, my feet remembered the spot better than my eyes did. I plunged my shovel into the ground. It's hard. It wasn't here. Just dug it up so it should have been softer. Stick my shovel down in a few spots to test what they felt like. One of them clearly felt deeper. I recalled where the lantern was, the trees and things were in relation to each other, and knew that it had to be here. Under here slept that man's corpse. There would definitely be the tattoo of a tiger on his back. But if it wasn't there, and I had made a horrible mistake, killed someone completely unrelated instead, I would be more dazed at the fact that Satoko's uncle wasn't dead than I would regret having gotten someone else mixed up in this. If this insane world was punishment for the sin of committing murder, I wouldn't be able to accept it until I'd killed Satoko's uncle for good. And then, without any fear, I'd attack him again. And that time, I'd kill him for sure. What if the tattoo was there? That would mean I'd killed Satoko's uncle. But it would be terribly strange. If I'd killed him for sure, then who was the uncle at Satoko's house this very moment? Impossible. I didn't even know anymore what I was using the word impossible to refer to. I've used the word quite a few times today. If I had to make the words impossible fit just one thing, what would it be? That much was obvious to me.
こんなおかしな世界がありえてたまるかよ!
I shouted, then turned behind me. There was nobody there, of course. It hadn't been bothering me for a while, but those footsteps had followed me this entire day. Even just now, an extra set of footsteps had splashed behind me. No one was actually there. No indications of anyone even. But they were there.
あんたは誰だ? 俺がこっちの世界に来てからずっとついてくるな。
That's right. Thinking back, the first time I heard those footsteps was after Takano-san and I had parted. Those footsteps were my welcome into this strange, inside-out world. No one could be there. I'd get no response. Whoever it was, I just kept staring at me. It wasn't ominous, just unpleasant. After staring into empty space for a bit, as I bathed in the rain, my illogical anger slipped away. My tension loosened, and a tired feeling reared its head. I tasted this feeling that night too. Sudden exhaustion I felt as the tension in my brain loosened. My vision quickly narrowed, and I felt like everything around me had suddenly gotten darker. I couldn't give in to this sensation. I'd light what little explosives were left in my brain and force myself to keep going. I needed to dig that man up before my stamina ran out. I needed to see the tattoo on his back. I caught my suddenly ragged breath and calmed down. Then I stuck the shovel into the soft, muddy ground again. It felt exactly the same as that night. A sense of digging a hole in the beach, with water coming into it with every wave. What day was today? Had I gone back to the nights of Watanagashi? Every strange thought that came to my mind tormented me. During my exhaustion, I didn't think I could hold those thoughts back. Once the hole was deep, all illumination finally faded, blanketing my vision in jet black. It was probably the moment the sun had fully set too. That night, I had feared the worst and gone without using much light. My senses were so strained that I could see even in that darkness. But now, I didn't have that kind of strength left. I drained everything I had last night, and now the darkness would be lethal. I decided to turn on the lantern. Putting it on the first setting would make it give off a faint light. Even with how little there was, it was enough, and people wouldn't be able to see it from far away in this rain. I grabbed the chilled lantern, turned the dial with a click, and set it to the weakest light setting, and turned it on. An uncanny world of silhouettes appeared before me. A complex and strange shadowy world created by the intricate entanglements of trees and branches. I had only turned on a light, and it was like that was all it took to make the world into something else. I let out a quick, tired breath and wiped the liquid, neither rain nor sweat, from my brow. Then I raised the shovel into the air and slammed it into the mud. That moment, silhouettes surrounding me, ominously all moved at once. Inside my head, something packed in there, something coarse but not hot nor cold, was loudly rushing about. Silhouettes were all around me, looking down at me. And one of them, a silhouette bigger than the others, stepped forward.
こんばんは。
Oof! 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 F in chat. Oh, that's an F. Oh, that's an F. Oh, Lord. Oh, holy mother of F. Oh, God. Well, busted. Well, that didn't take long, did it, huh?
月の綺麗な晩ですね。
The coarseness in my brain shot through my whole spine and left me at my waist. The strength of my body all left me from my hips. I crouched down with a splash. Into the sea of mud I dug myself.
F.
Oish.
F.
目上の人にはその後に3もつけるとなおよろしいかと思いますよ。そうでないと大人になってからいろいろと苦労します。
It wasn't only Oishi, but 5 or 6 of them in a row. Men wearing raincoats. I had no inkling that this many people had gotten so close. It was like, once I turned on the lantern, they just appeared there, sliding out of the shadows.
どうぞ、私たちのことは気にしないでください。森の木立だとでも思って。
Don't mind them?
そうです。私たちのことは気にされず、どうぞ穴掘りをお続けになってください。こんな時間にこんな土砂降りの中で、そんなにも真剣にやっているんですからね。邪魔なんかしませんよ。心ゆくまで掘っちゃってください。
No, thank you, I said. When I tried to get up and turn around, 2 men blocked that route. They stood on either side of me, and lifted me up with amazing strength, and threw me into the sea of mud. As I soaked in the mud bath I dug for myself, I looked up at the silhouettes looking down at me. Oishi squatted, picking up my shovel, and threw it at my feet for me. It bounced loudly off the mud and hit me in the face.
ほら、続きをどうぞ。続きを。
I couldn't bear the oppressiveness of the silhouettes surrounding me. And slowly, I stuck the shovel into the mud again. I felt like I was digging my own grave. If I kept digging, it wouldn't matter whether there was a tattoo or not, because that man's corpse would appear eventually. It was all over, surrounded on all sides, and nowhere to go. But I just couldn't figure it out, no matter how much I thought about it. Why are they here? Was it Takano-san? There was only one person who could have made the connection between me and this place. Shit. I knew it. She deserved to die.
手が休んでますよ。
BAM! Oishi kicked me in the back, which took me by surprise, sending me flying into the mud.
ちゃっちゃと掘っちゃってくださいよ。雨の中で待たされる方の身にもなってほしいもんですし。
くそ。そんなに雨が嫌なら帰ればいいだろう。
Oishi kicked some mud into my face.
口より先に手を動かしてください。口と手を一緒に動かすのは落語家だけ。
Oishi's sus. I mean, Oishi's just a detective. It's not really his fault. Although he could be treating a child more not roughly. The men around him didn't react, not knowing quite whether they should laugh. But when Oishi glared at them, they started mumbling out pained chuckles. Just who was this guy? Maybe the world had changed after that night. But if I went even further back, didn't it start when this guy showed up? That was when our peaceful days had been taken from us. Keiichi, Oishi. Yes. Ever since he showed up at Hinamizawa, things had been odd. Everyone stopped smiling, and the world went crazy. They both have a double plural, and the last syllable is similar. Ah. Interesting. Ground under my feet gradually got harder and heavier. Obvious they are the same person, but time travel from when Satoko used the toaster! God damn it. At this point, even I started to think something was odd. I hadn't buried him this deep on that night, had I? Exhaustion peaked and I sat down on the spot.
いつまで掘ればいいんだよ。
最近の若い人は体力がありませんね。おい。
At Oishi's gesture, the men all pulled out their own sinister-looking shovels. As I watched to daze, one of them grabbed my collar, dragged me out of the hole, and threw me to the ground. The rest of the men stepped into the hole I dug and started shoveling themselves. As I stared at them dumbfounded, Oishi sauntered over and squatted down to look at me directly. Solving the case, Fokies.
前原圭一さん。あなたの趣味は雨の夜の穴掘りですかな。
When I didn't respond, Oishi took one of the tin buckets they were using to bail out the muddy water, scooped up some of it, and splashed the whole thing in my face.
今日は大雨ですから。これ以上いくら濡れても全然わかりませんね。
Police and detectives aren't allowed to do this, are they? Like, this is like something a gangster would do. Like, especially to a kid, man. Like, what the hell? Oishi smiled to himself and scooped up another bucket full of muddy water.
もう一回聞きますよ。あなたの趣味は雨の夜の穴掘りですかな?
I don't know, looks like totally valid policing to me.
そんな趣味のやついるもんか。
Splash! Oishi hit me with another bucket full of muddy water. Oishi straight up G, what can I say? Pebbles and it stung.
あの穴を掘ると何が出てくるんですかな? 私、花坂じいさんのここ掘れワンワンってのが昔から憧れでしてね。
As he spoke, he ran the bucket through the muddy water again, splashing it in my face again.
あそこにどんな宝物が埋まってるんですかね。私にちょっとだけでも教えてくれませんか。
If you want to know, then dig on your own time. Fucking pig. Oh, shit! Okay, alright. That was the novel, not me, Twitch. Okay. Wasn't saying that out loud, but Oishi mercilessly drenched me in muddy water again anyway. Shit. If only you hadn't shown up, the world wouldn't have gone wrong. Ever since you showed up, things have been strange. Satoko got abused by her uncle, I ended up killing him, and the world went crazy. Well, I don't know if you could say it in that context, you know. It was how it all began. Because of this culprit. Obviously, you could say the word pig, but like, you know what I mean. Splashed another bucket of mud in my face. My insides were seething with anger. Die. You die too! If I have some strange power to kill someone by cursing them, like with Takano-san, then you're dead! And it won't be Oyashiro-sama's curse. It'll be mine. I'll curse you and kill you!
反抗的な目つきですね。これを機に少しそのあたりをお勉強してしまいましょうか。今は平和な時代ですがね。私があなたくらいだった頃は、何でも鉄拳制裁が普通でして。
おいさ。
One of the digging men in raincoats wiped some sweat off and called Oishi over. Oishi tossed the bucket away, then turned around with an evil grin on his face.
はいはい、何でしょうか。
これを見てください。
Acceptance, and maybe resignation. I wanted to say to them, so you blockheads finally found it. Yeah, that's right. I'm the one who killed him. You're the police, so it's your own job to figure out who he is, right? Come on, prove to me that he's really Satoko's uncle.
何ですかこりゃ。
多分古い排水管ではないかと。
Oh.
あそこの用水路に繋がっているようです。
ぶっ壊しちゃいましょうか。どうせ使ってない缶でしょ。
The men all exchanged glances, then hesitantly broached another topic.
おいさ。もうかなり手応えが固いです。 これより深くってことはありえないと思います。
掘る場所を間違えました？
いえ、初めのうちは明らかに掘り返す感触でした。ですが、このくらいを掘った頃から急に硬くなりまして、多分もともと掘った穴よりも深く掘り進んだのだと思います。
You know what I always say, Fukis? Chinese is never the wrong answer when it comes to food. Like me, the dumplings. And, what is it? The General Tso chicken. That's some good stuff.
じゃあ、つまり何ですか？ここには穴があって、何もなく、ただそのまま埋め直されたと。皆さん、そうおっしゃるわけで？
What? What were they talking about?
こりゃ参ったな。
I am, but I can't decide between pad quinoa or pineapple fried rice. Oh, I don't know.
ねえ、前原さん。
Oishi grabbed my collar and dragged me to the huge hole they dug. The mud inside was like an ocean, and I couldn't see any drain pipe down there. One of the men stirred it with a shovel, letting me hear it cling against something hard. There was no doubt I'd buried him right here. If I hadn't buried him this deep, didn't dig deep enough to unearth an entire drain pipe. So, then, this man, his corpse, where was it? Proof that I'd been successful in that night. It's gone. 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 Then, what on earth was I? Was I actually crazy after all? Just possessed by the delusion that I'd killed someone? It couldn't be. It was the unmistakable truth. It couldn't have been a hallucination. Now, the most important evidence that it hadn't been an illusion was gone. I killed them. I buried him. I had absolute unwavering confidence in that fact. Then, did I fail to kill him? After I left here, had he been starting breathing again? Crawled out and gone back to Satoko's house? Was that it? I'd come here to see whether he had a tattoo or not. And yet, the truth I unearthed was far more than that. Yesterday, what was I killed him. I buried him! There was no doubt! But for some reason, he lived. He crawled back out. And that was impossible too. I'm so tired of hearing the word impossible over and over. I get it. Dead people don't like to play by the rules here in Hinamizawa. Then, I'll kill you as many times as I need to. I'll keep killing you until you never show your face to Satoko again! Oishi and the others were muttering to each other. Eventually, their conversation ended and Oishi came towards me. What did he want to say? What did he want to do? I stiffened, tensing up, and Oishi just ignored me like I wasn't even there and passed right by me. The other men, too. They ignored me and shuffled away. Eventually, there was no longer a sign that anyone was around, and I returned to my quiet world of silhouettes. The only one left there was me. Only the sound of the pouring rain filled up the silence. What the fuck, dude? So he isn't just in a different reality then. Let's see. Inquiry request. Okinomiya Police Station, Command Center Transmission Recording. June 20th, 8:08 p.m.
こちら、沖宮 PS、感度良好です。
車両ナンバー紹介をお願いします。獅子骨歯の4344。
副将、獅子骨、歯の4344。少々お時間もらえますが、よろしいですか？
お願いします。
Number match. Shishibone H4344. Owner, blank blank. Address, blank, Hinamizawa Village, Shishibone. Village, make, and model, blank blank. Theft response. Theft reports, none. Special mentions, nothing of note.
沖宮 PS より大石社どうぞ。先ほどのナンバーが判明しました。大石社どうぞ。大石社、応答願います。あれ？電波、悪いのかな？大石社、応答願。出ませんね。
大石さんが車両紹介？誰の車だよ。
村人の車ですね。至って平凡な。
Alright, I'm gonna go get my food. Bye, guys. Bye, Fuki. Hope you have a good eat.
何者だよ。大石さんが聞いてくるからには、ただものじゃないんだろ？
突起事項欄は完全に空欄ですね。S 号指定もなし。減点もなしだし。
パッシングでもされて腹が立ったんじゃないの？あの人、根に持つとなかなか忘れないタイプなんだよ。
Huh. Record of malice. Why is this one just black? He said it smelled. He said the food smelled. He said it smelled because I smelled. He said I smelled because I don't take baths. He said to take a bath 3 times a day because I was a smelly person. He said I had to stay in the bath for a long time every time. I must be possessed by something too. This is the same thing that man who died said. Why does he know what that man said before? That much is obvious. The same thing that possessed that man is now possessing him. Can't a sudden earthquake make a big hole in front of the house? If it did, he would definitely go and look for it. And then I just have to push him. I won't give in until I get that chance. I won't give in. I won't cry. I won't give in. I won't cry. Someone is apologizing again. Huh. So was that written by the perspective of Satoko then? Alright. I think that's a good place to end for tonight. I honestly thought we was going to finish up this chapter tonight. How many, Alright, we've got like 2 full pages of tips, so... And then... 2 on the end. Interesting. Okay. Well, that is all for today. Let us find a goofy goober to raid. Don't you all say? Let us raid a little goofy goober. let's see. Who's live right now? Alright, well, we're rating Minori. I didn't even have to look. Okie dokie mochi. Yup. Thank you for their hydrate, soldier. I'll take a sip in just a minute. This is this bear raid of all time. And that's the raid message. And we're going to raid Minori. There's say. There we go. Alright, guys. Thank you all so much for dropping in and saying hi and chatting with me. I appreciate you all dearly. And I hope to see you all again in the next stream. And please show Minori only the best of love and make her feel welcomed by the Mochi crew. And I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
By basically crafted